Grace Auburn family, welcome back to the Grace Auburn podcast. I'm excited to continue in our series today, looking at places and ways in the community where the members of Grace Auburn are actively involved, making an impact for the glory of God and the kingdom of God in our community with partner organizations. And so today we're talking about Esperanza House. I'm joined by Annie Lusk and Kenna Flynn. Welcome, ladies. I'm glad you're here with me today.
Hello, good to be here.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, let's do, for the sake of those that are not involved with Grace Campus or don't know you and involved in your community groups, Annie, you're going to go first, share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, how you got to Grace Auburn.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I am Annie Lusk, and I am about to be a senior here at Auburn. I am from Birmingham, Alabama, and followed most of my friends and family to Auburn University. I am studying early childhood education. And a little bit about my journey to Grace Auburn Church is that as a new freshman, I came in and just basically went to a few different churches as I was trying to decide what church I wanted to make my home church. There are so many amazing churches in Auburn, which made it a little bit hard.
Sure.
Good problem to have, though. And I landed at Grace Auburn Church after a semester and started to go through the process of becoming a member.
Yes.
So I joined after Christmas of my freshman year.
Okay.
And I've been a member since and have gotten involved working with the kids here at Grace Auburn, working on Sunday mornings, and then also just pretty involved with Grace Campus here at Grace Auburn Church, and have been blessed through Grace Auburn Church ever since.
Okay. Kenna?
Yeah. Hey, guys. My name's Kenna. I'm from Tyler, Texas. You just found that out, too.
I did. I'm so excited to hear that.
I'm actually in my last semester of nursing school this summer, so I graduated in August. Been around for about 4 years. I actually came to Grace Auburn my first semester about October 4 years ago. And honestly, I always tell people that I feel like I stumbled upon Grace Auburn. Obviously, it wasn't a stumble. God placed me here really specifically.
For sure.
Yeah. But I didn't really know specifically what I wanted in a church other than just wanting good community.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that honestly, Grace taught me what a church can look like and a healthy church can look like and what I value in a church. And so it's really bittersweet. You know, I'm about to head out to the next place, but I'm excited to see what God continues to do here and through this church. But yeah, I became a member after Christmas break that year. I remember going to the members meeting before I became a member. So Caleb let me. I got a free meal. It was a whole thing. But yeah, I became a member. I joined a community group. Big plug for community groups.
Yes.
That has been my family here in Auburn, honestly. I feel like as everyone has left Auburn for the summer, I don't feel lonely because I know my community is still here because I've gotten to know so many families and so many people in the community at Auburn. So I love Grace Auburn. I'm really sad to be heading out, but like I said, excited to see where the Lord has me next.
Well, it's a gift each and every time. You know, we start a new semester every year. You know, Matt and I are both, previous to planting Grace Auburn, we're deeply involved in campus ministry, and you know when you welcome freshmen in that you get them for a season. And we've had you guys for a really sweet season. Annie, I've got 1 year left. More year. Okay, yeah, you said senior. That's right. Okay. But we recognize that we are going to be sending you at some point and very soon for you, Kenna, into the world with a very clear understanding of what the church is, what you are looking for, how you are looking to get involved, how you intend to continue on as an active member of a local church. And what I love about our mission, what I love about the way we approach campus ministry specifically, college ministry specifically, is we pulled you guys right in from the jump. And it wasn't that we put you over here with other college students, though we do have Grace Campus. The point was, to your point, that you would know families, that families would know you, that you would get to know our kids, and our kids would get to know you. And that's a really beautiful picture of the gospel and intergenerational community having a very real, not just theoretical, but a very real impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you both. It's been a real gift to have you here. Today, however, as much as I would love to just talk about Grace Auburn and all the ways that it's been great for y'all while you've been here in Auburn, specifically, we're talking about Esperanza House, a local outreach serving the Hispanic community, Hispanic families in the Auburn and Opelika area. I'd love for you guys, whoever wants to jump first here can, tell us about Esperanza House. What does it mean? How did it get started? If you know how long it's been around, we can probably dig and find that out if you don't know that. Let's just see where the Lord leads in talking about Esperanza House in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So Esperanza House is a Christian organization here in Auburn that just really seeks to have programs and just improve the lives of the Hispanic community here in Auburn. Miss O'Dallas was the one that actually founded it, I think, around 7 years ago.
Okay.
So
In 2016.
yeah,
Hey.
2016. She knows the stats.
And he's got dates. I like it.
Found that on the website.
Yes. She knew it off the top of her head. Yeah, so about in 2016, Miss O'Dallas founded it. I know that she just started small, and she started with a few families and started investing into them. And it just grew as God continued to bring more people into it. So a little bit about what you can do with Esperanza House now and just what it is. There's a few different programs that exist at different times of the year. We were just talking about it's currently not the school season, but during school season, they have tutoring Monday through Thursday for kids from kindergarten all the way up to senior year. I actually get to help tutor with the middle school and high schoolers. I know, Annie, where do you?
I tutor with the elementary.
Okay, yeah. So
K through 3rd.
yeah, she's at Opelika,
Okay.
and I'm in Auburn.
Okay.
So there's a few different locations, and it's kind of just what you want to make of it. You get to invest. If you want to go 4 days a week and tutor, you can tutor 4 days a week, or
Yeah.
you want to do 2 or 1. I think, yes, we're tutoring, but at the end of the day, it's a huge opportunity just to mentor and step into the lives of people that you might not have met before, which has been really cool.
Yeah, I love that. Anything you want to add on what Esperanza House is?
The only thing I could add to this is just that I think it's cool that it started with only 6 kids with Miss O'Dallas. Like you were saying, it started really small. And I found that there are now 85 families involved, and
Wow.
there are 278 children from Guatemala, Mexico, Venezuela, and other countries. So, of course, with the growing families and kids that are involved in Esperanza House, of course, the need is also growing for volunteers and for people to get involved.
Okay, I love that. Tell me a little bit about how and why you got involved. What was it that the Lord was putting on your heart? Again, this series is designed to put a spotlight or a megaphone, so to speak, on the mission of that organization, but really it's as much designed to tell the story of how the Lord has shaped you in such a way that you would give of your time, that you would give of your talents or your ability or whatever it is that you bring into a situation, whether that's just being a friend or actually tutoring or whatever the case may be. How did you get involved? Why did you get involved? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually only just got involved beginning of my junior year. So I've been working with Esperanza House for a year now. And part of what inspired me to get involved was that I had spent my summer in Peru teaching English in a school
Okay.
in Trujillo for the summer. And so I had come back and was really missing that culture, Latin American culture, and the people, the Spanish-speaking friends that I had made. And I had actually heard lots of friends like Kenna and others talk about their involvement in Esperanza House. And some of those friends encouraged me to continue to look into that and get involved. So I searched up the website and clicked the join now,
Yeah,
or some
super easy,
link that
volunteer
you
link.
Yeah.
it just takes a couple minutes to fill out a few questions and submit that, and they got back to me quickly. And I really right off the bat after my beginning of my junior year started tutoring on Monday nights, and it was just a really neat way to in some ways pour into others, but it also really just poured back into me as I was really missing my summer in Peru. And really what kept me so involved and excited about Esperanza House was just even seeing the relationships that were formed. I so easily connected with the students, but then also even just with other volunteers.
Yeah.
One of the volunteers there, I quickly learned that she actually knew no English, which I will preface, you do not have to know Spanish at all to be involved.
I cannot speak any Spanish.
You do not have to know. I think that's a misconception. But it is of great aid if you do know Spanish. And in my case, it helped me to get to connect to this other actually volunteer who was there who desires to go to either Auburn or Southern Union. She'd like to get a degree here, but she doesn't know any English. And so we started talking after tutoring class, after helping tutor the kids together. We would do short little English classes after tutoring. And that really like strengthened my bond just even with other volunteers. And it really opened my eyes to see that people here in Auburn that live just literally a mile and a half down the road from where I've lived now for 2 years, 3 years. Some of them don't even speak a lick of English. And I think it was so cool to be in the reverse this past summer where I had, I was jumped into a culture in Peru where I knew zero Spanish when I first got there, and I was super lonely, and it was, the pain of ordering or buying groceries at the grocery store when you literally have no idea how to say anything.
Yeah.
It's really humbling. It's really lonely and isolating. So my eyes were just open to the fact that there are people here in Auburn that are living that, but reverse here in America.
Yeah.
And they are literally right down the street from me. So that really inspired me to continue to get more involved and deepen my friendships with not only the students, but other volunteers too.
That's awesome. So I guess it's been 2 years now that I started tutoring with Esperanza House. Honestly, it just started with prayer on Sunday morning. Every Sunday at Grace, we pray for different nations and different people groups. And that has been such an honor, honestly. But I just remember praying on Sunday mornings and just kind of asking God, like, what's my response to this? Of course, like, prayer is so powerful and I love that we get to do this. But like, I was asking God, how can I do more? And what can be my yes on the table, but also what role can that be here in Auburn? I was about to start nursing school and just cannot get up and go overseas, that was not the wise decision. And as much as I wanted to, but in that, I remember one of my friends telling me about Esperanza House. And like Annie said, there's kids from Guatemala, from Mexico, so many nations. And it just kind of clicked with me that, God has brought the nations to Auburn, Alabama, and it can be just right down the street from me. And so in that, I just started helping volunteer. And honestly, it's not like glorified or anything. We're just volunteers and get to help tutor and love on the kids. And what I found is, I think Grace, like I was saying earlier, has taught me so much. Just what does it look like to be a local church with a global heart?
Yeah.
And I saw that as I kind of banded together with people at Grace that were also tutoring and getting involved in that. I think it just made me realize, just showing up and being consistent and loving on them and being a consistent face that just believes in them. Even like one story that comes to mind, there was this middle school girl that just started coming this past year. And we worked on this project together for a while. And then she was showing it to me. And it was a project about different religions around the world. And it was one of her history projects. And so with that, she goes through all the different religions and then she gets to Christianity. And I just remember her explaining it. And I just asked her, had she ever really heard that before? She had like gone onto the web or online and looked things up for it. And she was like, honestly, not really. And so it was just cool to, honestly, God set that one up for me.
Yeah.
And just got to sit there and share the gospel with her. And, I don't know those seeds that were planted. I don't know what the fruit that will come from that. And, just continuing to be consistent and show up and love on them and be a face that they can come to. I know that, like Paul says, he planted the seed, Apollos watered, but God gives the growth. And so I know in that we get to just be consistent and be there and show up without even seeing the fruit. So
many times, we think about our own experiences, if we've traveled abroad, about how isolating that could be.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I feel like coming to America, I don't know if it's based on the size of America or the scale, and not just size geographically and scale, but the volume of people, how isolating it can be in a place where everyone is as individualized as we are. You know, like if you land in a place like Peru, I've not spent any time there. I've spent time in several other Central American countries, and in some ways they're excited to welcome you into that community, right? And
absolutely. They're so warm and welcoming.
Whereas here, that's not always the case.
Right.
Even inside of the local church, at times it can be a little bit disorienting or off-putting for you to think, I'm coming to America, it's going to be amazing, I'm gonna seek out all this opportunity, only to find that you're on an island that you were never anticipating being on.
Right.
Yeah.
And getting here. So I'd love to hear you guys talk a little bit about what type of headaches, heartaches, what type of needs you've seen. Like, what are the biggest needs of the Hispanic community? And this is not an official statement from Esperanza House, but as you've walked with these families, what are the needs you've seen specifically facing the Hispanic community here in the Auburn-Opelika area?
Yeah, so one need that just sticks out to me is that although you obviously, like we said earlier, you don't have to know Spanish, you really don't have to know Spanish to come help out. A lot of the parents, though, don't speak English. And so with that, it raises this need for students or people, members of our church, anyone to come help out with the students' homework, which is part of, so that's what we do at tutoring. You show up for an hour and basically help read through the homework that's obviously written in English.
Right.
And help students work through their homework, whether that's, I mentioned I worked with some of the younger kids, kind of gets to work with the middle school children. And so, of course, when they're sent home after that, their parents don't speak English a lot of the time. And so they're unable to assist their children in completing assignments and doing homework. So really that hour after school that you go tutor and spend time with the children in some ways is really the only assistance that some of those kids might get in their schooling. And so I would say that's just a huge need. Anytime I've showed up for tutoring, there's always need for more volunteers. And so I would say that's one of the main needs that comes to my mind.
Yeah, I guess kind of piggybacking off of that, just academics in general is just really hard. Especially some of the kids have come and speak Spanish primarily, but then some of them have grown up in the States. So it's just a little different with everyone. I do feel like in it's less of a, like, am I smart enough? And more like, do I believe in myself that I can do it? Maybe nobody's ever told them that they believe in them and that they're championing them on, that they can dream big. And so in that, it's been cool to, ask the kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And just them kind of being like, I've never really thought about it, and then finally at the end of the year being like, I want to be a nurse when I grow up.
Hey.
And, that just makes me excited. But, just getting to see the kids, at the beginning of the year, failing the classes truly. And that's a real need, honestly. I know we talk a lot about tutoring today, but that is a big need. And just getting to see their eyes and their face when they come and they're like, I got an 85 on this test. And I mean, we're just jumping up and down and so pumped for that. So I think, yes, the academics, but also just someone that believes in them and is excited to champion them on.
Yeah, that's so good. You think about how many of them, and like you said, some of them, they have been here their whole life, and they're just in an income situation where Esperanza House is a gift. Others are here brand new, trying to figure out how to survive in a lot of ways. Like, where is Walmart, and how do I get there? I've heard so many stories along the way over the years, having been in Auburn for a number of years now, and having watched Esperanza House grow along with the Hispanic community. here. I want to just highlight a handful of things, and if something jumps out at you, or a story, or something that you think would be encouraging to share comes up as I'm looking through the website here, please jump in. So I'm looking at a little bit of programs, just in terms of, we've really hammered and talked about after school tutoring, a real need for that throughout the school year on an ongoing basis, whether it's helping with homework or English as a second language, or any English whatsoever, much less becoming proficient in it. Last year, starting a pre-K program in terms of getting kids a head start before they get into the school system. I love the vision of that. I remember one of the earliest things that O'Dallas set out to do, and at the church that previously my wife and I worked at, we were connected with them on this front. Just food distribution, food insecurity, obviously being a very real need in the Hispanic community, and really not just the Hispanic community, but the lower income socioeconomic strata of our community. Esperanza House kind of being on the front lines of that. So another opportunity in terms of ways to serve. You mentioned youth camps, partnering with local churches, really trying to have their hands in as many different places and things that can pull these families in and be a service to them. But then lastly, and I didn't even know this, the Building Futures program, child sponsorship, the opportunity for people to be able to come alongside of a particular family for a set dollar amount per month, connecting with them really through this child sponsorship program. A unique way, maybe a compassion type model, but here locally. For people to be involved. I think if you're in college and you have a ton of free time, absolutely, please volunteer. Or maybe you're an adult out of school who also has free time, please volunteer. But there are so many different ways to get involved, whether it's some of these camps or food distribution, or possibly doing a child sponsorship through the Building Futures program. And then I think lastly, and I think both of you have said this, we can't reiterate enough the importance of your yes.
Absolutely.
And I think we try to do that from holding babies on Sunday morning, making coffee, to moving to South America and saying, I want to be uncomfortable, not for the sake of being uncomfortable, but I want to be uncomfortable for the sake of making Jesus known.
Absolutely.
And so I think as we round out this conversation a little bit, rounding third, moving to home in some ways, I'd love to know specifically, if you guys have a thought on this, how has the Lord, through Esperanza House, really shaped you? Like how has either your resolve to continue working there, your commitment to Esperanza House, maybe your perspective, your outlook on life, your possible calling in future, and just specifically, how has the Lord shaped you, your perspective, your resolve to be involved in the community, but also really from here on out be involved in the community wherever it is the Lord takes you?
Right. I do think you go into things like this and you just think, okay, I can't wait to help these people and be a blessing to these people. But honestly, you step one foot in there and it's one day and you realize how much of a blessing they are to you. And just the relationships are so sweet and so special. And, my last day there, they brought some flowers. Some of the kiddos brought some flowers to me, and it just made me cry because, we've spent so much time together and they've invested so much into me just in the way that I've gotten to see them work so hard, just in, the things that they're doing. And that I think also, I just kind of went into it, thinking like, oh, it's our role to change these kids' lives and to share the gospel with them and try to make sure that they're saved. But I think what I've learned is that at the end of the day, like it talks about like in Revelation 7, like all tribes and tongues and nations, like they will cry out, salvation belongs to our God. And I think that what I've seen is that I'm not the one in control of that, and I'm not the one that's going to bring that about. But God's like already doing that work here at Esperanza House and in the Hispanic community in Auburn. And so I just get to be invited into it just as another person that knows and loves the Lord, but he's already doing that work, and he's already making himself known in this community. And so I think as I have done a few years with them, it's been cool to honestly just be honored to get to be invited into that work. It's not me. It's not Annie. It's not Miss O'Dallas. It's the Lord who does the work. And it's been cool to be humbled in that way, to just watch God change my heart just in the past few years doing work with Esperanza House.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, Kenna, I think even going back to something you said earlier, God has brought the nations to us.
Yeah.
And I think as someone who's always said, oh, I want to be a missionary, I want to do mission work,
Yeah.
I know we have that in common. And I think that sometimes that feels so far away.
Right.
It feels like something we go and we do. And I know everyone says this, but it really is true. It's like we're missionaries right here.
Yeah.
And we are the hands and feet of Jesus right here. And so I think the Lord has really shaped my heart to not just long to go somewhere and proclaim the gospel, but to do it right here, right down the road, right here at Esperanza House, right in my classroom with my cohort, and right, with the people at a coffee shop next to me, whether it's, whether it's Esperanza House or that, whatever it might be, that we are to be the hands and feet of Christ right here. And I think, like you said earlier, Kenna, it really is cool that the Lord has brought the nations to us right here. And I think our church obviously stresses that we are a local church with a global heart. And I think that, of course, that looks like sending people and praying for people each week, but it also looks like serving the nations that have come to us right here. And so this is such a cool opportunity and way that we get to do that. But then I also just think Esperanza House has taught me so much and really deepened my relationship with the Lord as I reflect on just the power in being consistent and the power in just like showing up, even if it looks like 1 hour once a week. And I think, at the beginning of my time getting involved, it feels like it's just 1 hour. It's just Mondays. It's once a week. But as I look back over, every week, every Monday, 1 hour each time, you look at the relationships formed, like that story you just said on your last day, with these kids giving you flowers, and they love you and they've built this relationship with you, and they're so sad to see you go. I think that's such a reminder to us of just the power in showing up and being consistent, even if it feels like something so small as just an hour of your time. And it's so very worth it. And of course, we get to minister and love, but we are so ministered and loved through that. Yeah,
absolutely. I think also, just piggybacking off of that, it's easy to get involved. Annie said she went on the website and she clicked
5
on the
minutes
link.
later, I was going each week.
Exactly. And so, it just starts with putting your yes on the table and maybe just going on the website, filling out a form. Miss O'Dallas is the director, but there's also a ton of other people that are interns and then also work with them. So I know that they're always looking for more volunteers. And so even just filling it out and saying, hey, how can I help a need in this? It truly is not as hard as everyone thinks it is. So we're like earlier, we were just saying, we're just volunteers. Nothing glorified, nothing fancy. Right. And it's awesome to get to show up and be loved and get to love them too.
Well, if Esperanza House is a place where you could see your yes being on the table, we will have a link to that contact form from their website in the show notes. Please make sure you check that out. I know, at least for the next several weeks, we will have Kenna here, although by the time this posts, she may be gone. We're sad.
I'll be here, hopefully.
Sad to see her. Yeah, Annie will be here. We're sad to see you go. We're excited to keep you for at least one more year. But truthfully, if the Lord's work among the Hispanic community here, the nations God has brought here, is something you want to take a step into, please do so. You can go to the show notes, click that link, and it should send you straight to their website so that you might get involved. Kenna, Annie, thank you so much. This was so much fun. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Grace Auburn Church family, thank you for listening to the Grace Auburn Church podcast. If you'd like more information about partnering with us and our mission or ways that you can get connected, please go to our website, graceauburn.church.